Hey guys, it's Damien from Marketing Food Online. I hope you guys are having a great night. This video that I'm about to do is actually something that is of really importance in regards to protecting your food product. Okay, in the business, it's known as trade secrets, also known as proprietary blends in some cases, recipes that you have come up with and you want to sell a food product. I have questions that are coming in constantly about this, and I've actually never really done a video in depth about what it means to protect a recipe, and actually if you actually can legally. Okay, now I'm going to cover this because I actually have experience doing this. I actually hold 7 U.S. patents, actual U.S. patents, which have nothing to do with food. Actually, they have something to do with a totally different industry. But I have been through the patent process. I've also been through the provisional patent process, and I hold several provisional patents as well. And I only say that because I just want to express to you guys that I have experience and gone through this. When I first sought my first group of patents, it took several years and about $30,000 or $40,000 in legal fees, and it was quite extensive and quite expensive. So I just want to go over something really quick with you guys. I want to inform you about how to actually protect a recipe, and kind of also answer the question if a recipe can be patented. So I've actually pulled up some really great resources, some articles. Just as I talk along here, I will show you these articles that I pulled up to kind of inform you as to what you can and really cannot do. So let's get right down to it. Okay, so the question I got was one of the one of the gentlemen that I'm actually doing some consulting work with. He has an idea to create a bar. It's going to be kind of a protein bar. So they were looking to see if it was something that needs to be approved, or if it has to have a recipe get approved, and how could you protect it, and all that good stuff. So when you want to talk about protecting a recipe, if you're starting a business and you have employees, okay, and you're manufacturing this product, and I'm just going to use examples here. If you have a recipe for a chocolate bar, okay, and it's got a different culmination of ingredients. It's obviously chocolate bar itself is not something new, so you aren't necessarily inventing something from scratch, but you are creating your own recipe, okay. Now you have a business, you've got employees, and they're day in and day out, what their job is to do is to deal with the ingredients and the different measurements and the different recipes and different sizes and quantities of ingredients to create a product, to have an outcome of a finalized product, okay? Now, with those employees, the way that you can actually protect yourself from their standpoint is that you can get them to sign a non-disclosure agreement, okay? This is an agreement, a contract, if you will, between you, the business owner, and your employees, okay, that they cannot duplicate. They cannot take the recipe out of the facility. They can't write it down or sneak it out, or whatever way that they could actually take it from your place of business and then go out and make it themselves, because you would legally sue them, or you would have the right to take them to court and to sue them for financial damages, okay? That is a kind of a norm, if you will. That's kind of normal in the food business. For instance, a lot of these articles, which is quite interesting, they lend themselves to the Coca-Cola recipe as an example. So, for instance, the recipe that is used to create Coca-Cola, they have a specific amount of ingredients, okay? Now, if you look at the can of a Coca-Cola can, you can see the list of ingredients, but you don't see the quantities and the ratios to actually create the finalized product, okay? And normally, obviously, that is not something that's on packaging. You will not see that on a packaging. 2 cups of sugar or 5 cups of water, etc. That is where the uniqueness of the actual recipe comes into play, and that is the part that is you want to keep a secret, obviously, from getting out, because you've created something unique as far as the actual flavor composition or flavor profile, or the taste, or the consistency, whatever the finalized product is. You have come up with a recipe to bring together these ingredients, and that is actually what determines the uniqueness of the product, okay? Now, can you actually patent a recipe? No, you can't. Now, because the reason being is, let's say you have a recipe and you've got certain amounts of ingredients. if I came along and I tasted the product and I knew what was in there and I kind of tweaked it and played with the recipe, I could create a dish that's basically tastes the same, but it has maybe 2 tablespoons of salt instead of 1 tablespoon of salt. That small, minute differentiation between the amount of salt that you use will actually create a whole nother recipe. So the idea to create a recipe and you're going to patent it or you're going to protect it, not necessarily something you can do from a legal standpoint, but you can protect it. And when you want to mention, you want to talk about it being in a proprietary blend, you've got a set amount of ingredients, okay? Now, one of the things that you can do, I'm actually in the process of completing another provisional patent on a product. And what I'm able to, I actually called the USPTO office, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, which I want to go ahead and bring up for you. USPTO, Provisional Patents. Okay. Now, I'm actually, like I said, finalizing this process for a reason, because the product that I'm actually getting ready to hopefully roll out nationally, it's actually a process that I am protecting. Okay. It's not necessarily a recipe, but you can actually apply for the process itself, the manufacturing of it. This specific item has a specific way of being manufactured. So that is what I have sought to get protected through a provisional patent. Okay. So hopefully that you can differentiate and understand the difference between the two. A recipe is a bringing together of ingredients, but then there's a process to put it together. Now, in some instances, you can get the process itself patented, or at least get an issue of a provisional patent. Now, understand that a patent itself, excuse me, and a provisional patent are two different things. When you apply for a provisional patent, it's $65 for you to apply. You can do it yourself. I've done all of my patents myself, applied them and done it through this website, of course, the uspto.gov site. What you do is you basically apply for a provisional patent to protect you for 12 months. That's what a provisional patent does. Okay. In that meantime, you can take that product, you can produce it, you can sell it, and you can put on the product patent pending, because you were in a 12-month period, okay? And you can actually, and here it is again, here it is right here. You're then given a 12-month period for you to either find a manufacturer or seek an actual utility patent to finalize the patent itself, so it's no longer in that 12-month period. And you can actually own the patent itself, and from there you can license it and do all that good stuff. Now, can you license a product? Food product? Can you license it to a manufacturer during a patent pending 12-month period? Yes, of course you can. If you get a manufacturer to agree to that, and you have a co-packer who is going to sign off that they're not going to disclose all of the recipes and all that good stuff, because they understand that the process that they are using to manufacture it is protected under the provisional patent period of 12 months. Okay. So if you want to check out this information, I don't want to necessarily bore you guys to death for about an hour. I could go on and talk about this for hours. I'm not a patent lawyer. Do understand this is just for information purposes. I am only speaking from my own experience, because I have gone through this with an actual patent lawyer, and it took years to get what I got done. So I do have some experience in the process of making these and completing them. So I wanted to just offer some understanding that if you are producing a product, a food product, there are some legal steps that you can take to protect your product. This article here is really good as well, which goes into real in-depth information about protecting your recipes and can they be patented. And if you look to the top of the screen here, guys, you can definitely copy these URLs and check out these websites. This is actually a Inventor's Eye. This is an article within the USPTO website. This article is actually on Webstaurant, believe it or not. Webstaurant, one of my favorite stores. And then provisional patents, this is again a page within the uspto.gov website. Okay, this is from Stout Advisory, and it goes into in-depth information about proprietary again. Okay, they're called proprietary blends, and you can get proprietary protection for that. Okay, and this article is quite extensive. This is very, very detailed, so definitely something you want to look at. And again, I am not trying to come across as a patent lawyer or anyone on behalf of the patent office. I am offering this information as something that I have experienced, and I wanted to give it to you guys. So I do hope this kind of explains a little bit about it, and you can understand some of the protections you can take and some that you cannot. So again, guys, if you like my video, I do appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. If this was kind of informative and explained some of the precautions that you can take. If not, just give me a thumbs down. Always appreciate the honest opinions. As well, guys, if you wanted to check out, and I just posted a video in regards to my new resource video, which has nearly 30 websites. That is up and running. You can click on the link on my Shopify store, and then you can download that video. It is definitely worth the time and the resource and the money. It will save you a lot of hassle from trying to search through the internet for suppliers and everything you would need to start your own food business. So I appreciate your time, guys, and do have a great night. Thank you.